Is this an Australian kid thing or maybe like a Western Sydney Aussie kid thing? But when we went to Japan in December last year, which was basically a month ago, we had a clash in parenting culture. And I'll digress. So let me paint the picture to you, all right? So we have Tokyo Skytree, which basically a very beautiful structure. And below there is a Japanese play center. And what do we do as Aussie parents when we're kind of knackered from, shopping and going around all day? We just want to place and park our kids there while we have our chai latte. But obviously in Japan, there's no chai latte. And you got to go into the play center with your kids and experience the Japanese way of play center. Now you see this very comfortable sort of foamy thing there. Well, as typical Aussie parents, we just slept, right? We're like, let our kids play while we rest and while we dozed off. Japanese parents with their Japanese kids were doing things like these Lego things, gently placing it one by one, being very polite, playing, serving at the supermarket, buying, very gentle. While my kids, who are from Western Sydney and South Sydney, right? Basically, their background is they played in Bankstown, Monkey Mania, play with the wogs, play with the Lebos. They were built tough yakka kids, right? So what happens when you have these two young boys, 5 and 7, my boys, entered into a play center with really gentle Japanese kids? Chaos ensued. This was eye-opening to me, right? This made me see the black and white difference of Australian cultured raised kids versus Japanese cultured raised kids, right? While I was having a bit of a nap, a bit of a siesta because I was knackered from traveling around Japan shopping all day, I got a tap on the back. Hey, sir, your son smacked my kid in the face. Oh shit, what? So my kids were playing tips in this sort of in my opinion, kind of boring play center. If you compare it to Australian play centers, we have play centers, right? This place is doing origami or something, right? It was kind of boring. So my kids were just making the best out of it, right? So they were running from here to here. They were playing tips. They obviously threw some balls in over here, which they got in trouble with the staff. And they're like, all right, we won't do that. We'll just play tips. And then all the parents and the kids were just basically staring at our kids, right? Well, we're like, oh, it's all right. You show them the way we play. The way they play is different, right? That's fine. So what happens was, during that time, a lot of the parents knew that our kids were just running up and down, up and down. What happened was one kid decided to, follow our kids and do the same. And by that time, one of my youngest was flying full speed over here, while this other kid, who was the same age, appeared over here with their parent. Obviously, Japanese kids play with their parents, right? They don't play alone by themselves. My child was trying to avoid hitting the parent. He swerved and knocked the kid over. Now, let me take you back to Australian culture, or as I know it, right? If you get knocked over or you knock over a kid, you go, hey, mate, are you all right? 9 out of times, 10 times, they'll dust it off. Yeah, all right, mate. Let's keep playing, right? Not in Japan. What happened was 60 minutes of apologizing to this parent. He and she, because both parents play with the kid, right? I don't know, it's their culture, right? The parents just follow the bloody kid like helicopter parents, right? I got woken up and go, you should be looking after your kid. I was about to get pissed. I was like, dude, I'm not here to look after my kid. My kid is to play, right? I'm not to freaking supervise your kid. That's why you have the staff for it, right? Anyway, I didn't say anything. I just remember saying, I'm sorry. They made us say sorry 5-6 times. The staff just wouldn't let us leave. Just asked us back, can you say sorry again? They wouldn't accept it. I'm like, how many ways can you say sorry? Anyway, from that experience, that really showed that the way the Japanese raise their kids, they raise them to be walking on eggshells, right? Where this experience happens, even that the person really wasn't, the staff really showed the recording, go, hey, well, your child just went here and he was trying to avoid you. Like, it was all an accident. It wasn't good enough, right? So it really showed me that the mental grit that Aussie kids have, right? You get knocked down, you dust yourself up, it's okay, mate, let's go, right? Fair dinkum. Those guys, not to bash them, maybe it was just that experience. No, don't like the way you apologized. Well, obviously I don't speak Japanese. That's it. That's all I could say. Oh, you weren't genuine. I was freaking genuine, right? What can I do? And your kid wasn't even scratched. There was no bruise. Just went boom. That's it. And your kid flew. Obviously, my Aussie kids had, Aussie dairy, right? Versus Japanese dairy. Boom, flew over. But it was like a soft landing, right? And there was no concussion. Anyway, this is not a rant. This has just made me realize how, I guess, what I take for granted when I'm raising my kids here, right? We make our kids to have hard yakka mentality, right? Whilst those guys, I guess they raise their kids to have origami mentality. And I guess, in life, I don't know, but I think our kids would have a tougher mental resilience when it comes to being knocked down and they get up, right? They don't look for their parents and go, oh, let's make them say sorry 10 times. No, they're like, it's all right, mate. Let's keep playing. So, I guess that has been a really rewarding experience for me. Have you guys been to a Japanese play center? Have you noticed the difference from your own country's play center? Jump in the comments, let me know what you think.